In this module, we'll discover how ChatGPT can automate communication and capture workflows. Instead of just prompting ChatGPT each time, you'll also learn at the end how to create custom GPTs. ChatGPT can act as your digital assistant, ready to summarize, draft, and polish emails at scale. Let's start with summarizing email. You can paste in a long email and ask ChatGPT to provide a clear, short summary. For example, I have this email here that I'll paste into ChatGPT, and I'll ask her to summarize the email. Now we can go further. We can actually get ChatGPT to give us simple action items from the email. So for example, I'll give it this prompt, and it can give me these action items that then I can copy and paste into whatever I want to do next. Maybe it's a follow-up email. But that's not all. ChatGPT can also help you write emails. To write the perfect prompt, you will need to provide ChatGPT some context. Here are two elements that you can add to improve its context. The action to take. This can be done by using different verbs like draft, summarize, personalize, etc. Important information that is needed to write the email, such as the fund name, the reporting period, the audience you want to write for. Here you can add files or connect your Google Drive, OneDrive account to add some extra context that ChatGPT needs. To add a file, you can select the plus arrow that we'll look at. And the constraints matter as well. So you can format the way you want. This works best if you specify the format, the length, and the audience. Here you can be precise about the tone. If you want, you can also add confidentiality notices, regulatory disclaimers, or other disclosure statements at the end as well to constrain the output format. Here is an example of a fully written prompt. I'll paste it into ChatGPT. And what you can see here is that we're asking ChatGPT to write an investor update for us, including information such as KPIs, portfolio wins, and recent investments as well. We will also give it the tone that you want to respond with, and also section structure that we want the response to be. Here you can see the example of a response that it gave based on what we gave it. So you can see the structure that we gave in terms of like the fund performance, portfolio wins that we asked for as well. And the tone as well, you can see it's very professional, and you can tweak this tone based on how you would respond. Now, it can also be the case that you might not have full context to give ChatGPT, and you don't know exactly what to put into your prompt, in which case you can put in as much context as you can give it. So you can simply ask, what more do you need from me to respond well to this email? And here what you can see is that it can ask you for very specific things that it needs from you. For example, the fund details, the audience, the tone, and the style. When writing email, you don't always have to start from scratch. Another thing that ChatGPT can do is take an existing piece of content and turn it into a polished email. Let's walk through two examples. For example, you could have this LinkedIn post and you want to update clients based on that. And I've taken that LinkedIn post, pasted it into ChatGPT and given it my query, and it can resurface that into something that's very much shareable. Now let's look at example number 2. Here, what we can see is a meeting summary, and I've asked ChatGPT to convert that into next steps for the team that I can then share with the rest of the team. And you can see the structure that it gave, which is very clearly broken down by different topics that I can share with the rest of the team. So this can be very useful to break down certain repetitive tasks where you're taking content from one place to another. Now that we've seen how to use ChatGPT to write email, let's talk about meeting notes and summaries. ChatGPT can save hours of time by turning messy transcripts for long meeting notes into clear, structured takeaways. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to paste transcripts into ChatGPT and summarize them into action items, and also prompting techniques. How should you do what and by when, and what decisions were made? So let's dive into the demo. Here I've pasted in a transcript minute by minute of a very long meeting. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT to summarize this transcript and produce action items. So I've taken this transcript from Google Meets or Zoom, or Fireflies, and you can paste it in and extract whatever it is that you want from it. Here it's given us a very detailed summary, for example, but maybe I want a different kind of structure. And maybe I want, for example, tell me about the key decisions that were made, the action items, and open questions from the meeting. And this structure now is very much browsable. Different parts of it are shareable to different parts of the team. So in this module, we've learned how to use ChatGPT to summarize, draft, and repurpose emails, as well as capture meeting notes into clear, structured outputs. These are the everyday workflows where AI can immediately save time and improve communication. In the next module, we'll explore due diligence and research automation, using ChatGPT to analyze documents, extract risks, and generate structured research reports.